Hi, Susan. Oh. Am I muted? You're muted.
I was just
I
changing.
see you. I could read your lips.
Hi, Maureen.
Hi, Maureen.
I don't know why. Sometimes when I come on Zoom, my full name is there, and sometimes it just says Susan. It's weird. I don't know what the difference is.
Who knows?
No, crazy. So, how are you? Holiday, post-holiday?
Good. Good holidays. You?
Good. Yeah, good holidays. I still have my Christmas. I have artificial trees, 2 of them. And I still have them up, and I'm thinking, oh, I better take those down. But
I took everything down today.
yeah, I took my wreath off my door today, but
I know.
Had everything down the next day.
you did. They have
No
to-
kidding, really?
I didn't even put a tree up. I was kind of, I
Well,
don't post anything, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna. I decorated my rubber tree plant, put some bulbs on,
put some bulbs on it. Any lights? Did
some
you have-
lights, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's
Lights.
something.
It's funny.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
do love
Right?
doing
Who's
all
our
the stuff.
fearless leader?
No.
Oh, 6:29. So I just sent you guys a couple things in the last few hours. One, just in case we will remember, we didn't vote last month, Flo, for the because we didn't have a quorum for the November meeting, so we have to accept the November meetings tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then I think Maureen, you said you saw the posting for the board member.
Yeah,
It was in the newspaper.
Yeah, I saw it too.
I got
And then
one.
that email that we got.
Yeah, I got an email, which probably you did too, but from the town. Came through yesterday.
My
So
term is up in April too, so there'll be another opening in April.
okay.
So,
Be advertising for 2 people then, by the time it gets,
I know.
probably
I know
remind
we
Karen
should,
of that.
we should mention that to Karen. If there are interested parties, she should grab 2 of them.
Right.
I
Right,
wonder if
it's
they
a
have to-
process.
Yeah, I know. I wonder, do they have to post this? Will they have to post the second opening in April rather than now?
Well, they probably will, but if there's somebody that appears the next month who isn't, could be encouraged to reapply for the formality of it in a couple months. And
Yeah.
there's nothing to stop anybody from coming to a meeting, right? Not to vote, but
Oh,
coming
that's true.
before that.
What is it?
Did that woman
Terms?
join last month?
No,
from,
she didn't. She didn't come, and she doesn't, Karen hasn't heard from her, or hadn't heard from her at least by then. So,
Interesting.
yeah, she didn't come back, so. I know the dispute is still going on, or whatever you want to call it.
It's ridiculous, I feel like it's been decided, so.
I think, isn't that one of the issues with, it's not just Wakefield, it's a lot of towns, that by the time things happen, I mean, there's a relatively few people who approve something or decide on something, whether it's a town meeting or Stoneham is like this. Stoneham was like this too, where I used to live. And then the public starts to get wind of it as it starts to happen, or they see their tax bill go up, like Stoneham has a meeting tonight about the high school because they need more money. The town needs more money to build the high school.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of fuss about that, and I think that's what happened here, right? It was approved, it was set, and then people realized, oh, they're gonna take part of Breakheart. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's 11 cities and towns, and I think every town had to vote to approve. And I don't know what we approved. I voted for it, but I don't know what the particulars were, but so now that the word is out where the school will be is the big to do.
Joanne, hello, you're very much in the dark there. You look like you're in a very,
Joanne.
I know, I kind of like this, but
Feel like
How
you're
did
in a
you-
closet.
no, I'm in my living room. I just need to turn on another light, I think.
Yeah, we can barely, I could see the reflection of your glasses and a little bit of your cheek.
In my background living room.
It looks like there's light outside, but that must be another light from another part of the house.
Yeah, it is. All right.
Karen, are you there? You're on mute if you are.
She's muted.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, So we do have a quorum. Oh, she's trying, okay. Karen, I got it. There's an email that came, says trying.
Oh, she can't get in. Oh, this technology sometimes is not.
My camera, so I may shut my camera off at some point. I start getting like, it starts getting like jittery. And I just have to shut it off for 30 seconds and come back. It's weird.
And we've all figured out like the little idiosyncrasies of all of this.
Unbelievable, I know, right? Imagine. There you are, Joanne, in your pretty colorful sweater. Now you're nice and bright and present.
This looks like a good amount of light.
Yeah, what a nice sweater. Did you make that sweater?
No, I didn't. I didn't, but it's a nice
Very-
warm wool, so it's getting a little chillier out.
Very colorful.
Thank you. Oh,
I think we're, well, Liz, if Liz comes.
Yeah, no,
Liz is
Liz
not coming.
and Christina are not going to be
Oh, Liz
here.
was right, was one of the ones that would not be here. That's right, that's right. She
Yeah,
came.
So this is
wait,
it. This
Okay.
is it. If we can get Karen, if Karen can get on.
No,
I wouldn't, she probably can't even hear us then.
She said, yeah, I'm having trouble logging in and she needs to claim the host.
oh,
You know, I don't know why. This is the second, let me just look at it. This is the second month in a row that Sherry sent me the host key.
oh,
And
really?
I don't even know what that is. Let me open that email. I just left it alone because I didn't know what to do with it. Zoom will off, it said, well, she sent it to Karen though, too, on January 5th. Once you are in the meeting, click on. I'll just forward this to her because I don't know what else to do with it.
Hmm.
I never got it before. It's just weird.
Huh.
And now I see it's.
Oh, oh, there's a button at the bottom. It says claim host.
You
I
see that?
wonder like when you pull up the participants at the bottom, it says invite, mute me, claim host. So oh wait,
I think
is
she's
she
here.
coming? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, oops.
she's here.
Sorry, I'm having major.
There she is.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm having big computer troubles. I just have to claim host quick and then we can start.
So Flo, you see that? I can't see that. So
If you see where it says participants,
yeah.
if you click on that little arrow or click on just that thing,
Well, and mine says invite, mute me, and then I have the dots, which, oh, claim host, yeah. Okay.
Oh, are
Yeah,
you
I don't
claiming?
have that on mine, so I don't know if Karen has that on hers.
Yeah,
well,
well,
she's all, looks like she's all set now.
Oh, okay, good.
She's here. That's
can you
the
hear us,
key.
Karen?
Yeah, I'm just trying to claim host. It always gives me a little bit of trouble. Did you already
No.
claim host? That way I can't?
No,
No.
no, nobody claimed it.
All right, let me see what's going on. I'm on my second laptop here trying to get on here.
Oh, shoot.
Why is it being weird? Let's see. Oh, click on participants at the top of your screen. Well, there you all
Yeah.
are. What- yeah.
At the look at the bottom. There's a button. It says claim host.
Claim host. There we go.
Okay, so we good?
There, got it.
All right, good.
And do we-
Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Ready?
because it's gone now. Excellent. Oh, and it says Karen Burke is the host. It worked.
Okay, perfect. All right, look, we're called to order now. Called to order.
Okay, 6:38. All right.
Okay, thank you. And public comment time we have, but since there's no members of the public here, we're gonna just jump right over that. Approval of the November minutes. Karen, we don't have any December minutes. Is that gonna screw things up? Should we try to eventually come up with something? I didn't even think of it till today.
I don't think we can because we don't have a quorum to even vote on them to have participated until the
Okay.
last 10 minutes of the meeting. So maybe we just make a note saying that we did not have a quorum in December to take minutes.
All right, yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that sounds good to me if it passes muster. So then let's vote on the November minutes that, if you, I sent them out like 50, go ahead, Maureen.
I'll make a motion to accept the November 2022 minutes.
Anybody want a second? Joanne,
Second from
second.
Joanne.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Okay, approved.
All-
So no quorum at December meeting. No minutes.
No minutes kept,
Okay.
because there were no
All
votes.
right.
So then that would be, we're gonna look at the financial report for December, but the November financial report would be the same way, same as the minutes. Right, we didn't have, or I'm sorry, that's not true. We have a financial report for December. We had one for November, but we didn't vote on it because we had no quorum.
Oh, do we have to vote on the November financial report too?
No,
Or
I
no?
don't think so. I don't, do we, Maureen? You're not, I said,
I do at the Housing Authority. If we miss a month, we vote at it the next month. So
Yeah, okay.
all right, so why don't, would this be all right? Why don't we look at the December one that Karen sent out the other day? And see if we have any comments or questions, or Karen, you want to tell us anything about it? I have a question, actually.
We're on
And-
track for our spending for the year. Our formula grant funds were deposited in November, so we're in good shape for the budget wise.
They get deposited for the whole year at the one time?
Yeah, the formula grant gets deposited once a year. It's early this year. Typically, I hear it used to be deposited in more like March, but they got it earlier this year.
Okay.
Okay. So for this coming year,
Hmm.
and who is that from, Karen? EOEA?
Mass Council on Aging, or yeah, from the state, not from the Council on Aging, but from the state.
Now, do you remember what you told us last month or the month before, what it was per person? Do you remember what it was per person?
$12 per person, and we have over 7,000. I could have told you the exact moment about 20 minutes ago, but I
Okay.
can't find my little sheet of paper, but
All
yeah,
right,
we're up from what we were before.
You told us.
is it
yeah.
over 65? Is that it?
60 and over, and it's around 80,000. I think it was 82,000 something that we got this year, which is up from what we've gotten in previous years after the new census numbers came out.
Okay.
So this is 2020 census, okay. All right. And it looks like in December, attendance held kind of steady considering it was a holiday month.
Yeah, really, it was a good month. Our numbers looked good for having some closures, and we had two very popular instructors both out on the Christmas week. So that's
I
the
see.
reflection of the numbers being down, but otherwise good attendance all around.
Wow, and lots of rides and everything.
Lots of rides. Rides have been
I
very
am
busy.
struck by the number of calls that your staff deals with. That's unbelievable. How does they get anything done?
The phone rings all the time. It's not,
So-
we all just answer it.
Yeah, so I guess that's my only question. Do you have enough staff to do that? And Like, do they leave voicemail? What are people calling about?
And those are averages. We'd like to try and start looking to see if we can calculate the exact number, but they call about everything. I mean, part of it is rides because they call to book their ride. They call when they're ready to get picked up from their ride. So because we do dispatch, the calls are mixed in with that, but people call to sign up for programming. They call to ask for questions about outreach, about the different programs that we offer, to sign up for a class. They call to ask any number of things. Calls are up right now too, because we're getting fuel assistance calls.
Right.
Just lots of information. So it's good. We all answer
Yeah.
the phone. We stay busy with that, but you know, it
see.
seems to ebb and flow. There are definitely Monday mornings are really busy. Friday mornings, there's less call volume. So you can work around it.
Wow. That's a lot.
It is something we're looking at though, to keep track of over the year to see, because our numbers are down from pre-COVID when Karen Surratt was full-time, to look and see if we wanted to potentially hire. We have Maureen as a part-time activities coordinator. So looking at potentially hiring either a second part-time activities coordinator next year, or maybe even, I was thinking it might be more effective to hire a part-time receptionist to help with some of the, they don't need to do activities. Maureen can do that, but they could do just some of the bookkeeping, not bookkeeping, but some of the computer data management, like exercise class management or something.
Right.
Yeah, checking people in, giving out new cards, new tags, whatever, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, that one of the columns, you have outreach / veteran. So there's some calls, about 2020, that's an estimate, it sounds like, right? On the calls for outreach veterans.
Yeah, for those are people coming in or calls. Outreach with Beth, it's been calls more. She has some people that come in. Dave has been incredibly busy in the veterans office. A lot of
Is that, and that's separate from, that's in addition to the last column where it says phone call, just plain phone calls for everything, other things.
Yeah. The
Okay,
phone calls are just that every time the phone rings. So here for whether we send it, not Dave's though. The phone calls do not include typically Dave's phone calls. But he's not here. He forwards them to Mary Ann, but otherwise he answers his own phone.
And
I
what about
see.
shine calls are in the other calls, the phone calls over there somewhere?
Shine calls are in the average phone calls. Yeah. We typically answer some questions if we can, and then make the appointments for the Shine counselors.
Yeah. Okay, that's still a lot of traffic through there.
Yeah. And you all manage it, okay?
Yeah, there are some days that we're ready to rip our hair out, but for the most part, the voicemail gets that. We've added phones. So we have a phone in our copier / conference room now. And we have a phone downstairs in the dining room so that we have an easier time answering the phone if we're up helping with programming. So that's helped a lot.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's still though, it answers the phone, but you answer the phone in the copy room and then somebody's gotta do something as a follow-up, right? Probably go back to the desk.
Always, yeah. It's almost always scheduling a ride. So I'm like, wait, hold on, I gotta go check.
Yeah, you gotta
I
go
see.
somewhere else, or you gotta, or they're called to cancel their appointment with the Shine counselor or the vet, and then you gotta take some extra steps when you come back. So it's very customer centric, but it's not staff centric.
It's the main reason we wanted to was to prevent missing a ride. If somebody is out for dispatch and they want to call, that we won't miss somebody, because they tend to get nervous. We check voicemails frequently, so nobody would ever get left for a long time, but we don't want people to be nervous that nobody's answering their call when they're trying to get picked up from Market Basket.
Sure, an appointment, sure, right,
Yeah.
right. Wow.
Okay, so is there anything else about this report that, I know Joanne has to leave at 7:15, so we want to get to our guts. Anything
No,
else about this?
for the report.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to accept the financial report for, this is for December of 2022.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay,
second.
okay, all in favor, aye, everybody, all right, we need a motion to accept the November report, which isn't in front of us, but we did have it, we looked at it last time around.
So moved.
Second. That's
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we got those two financial reports.
Great.
Karen, your report or any?
Other than this one I already sent out, just a quick one that we're in budget season, because I want to save us the time for the age friendly, but I did in the budget, I level funded except for 2 items. I put a 7 to 8% rate, 8% increase in our food line, which is a small amount. That's a $350 line to meet the inflation rates. And I also requested to budget for additional hours. Currently, we're only budgeted for 32 driver hours a week, and we've gone up to 5 days a week. So I asked to budget to increase to 5 days a week, and then to be able to add a second driver 2 days a week if we needed to. So I proposed a budget for 46 hours, and so far that was met favorably in the first round of discussions. So hopefully that makes it through the second round of discussions and through the finance committee.
Good,
Good.
good.
Nice.
And that would, so that's been submitted, that has been submitted or still?
Yeah, Kevin presented it to the town council for the first round, so it's not anything close to approved yet, but it was met favorably by the town council when he presented
Okay.
it. So hopefully it doesn't have any resistance when it goes through the final processes of the budget.
Good, okay.
That will allow us to maximize our 19 hours a week for the 2 drivers we have and to bring on a 3rd driver.
Excellent.
Nice.
Okay, that's good.
Right, we get a lot of calls too from tenants, and you know, we're not involved in transportation at all, but it seems like it's a bigger issue.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna make this as a statement, but it's really a question. The COA transportation is only for seniors or disabled or what? You don't take, I mean, it's not just anybody in town, it's. Okay. Yeah, so what do you do, Maureen?
We refer people to Karen if it's local, and in Mystic Valley Elder Services. I mean, I think that one issue that, I mean, Karen we were working with a couple all this past week that were desperate to get a ride to Boston. It was very challenging because they don't have a smartphone, they can't do Uber or Lyft, and they, you know, not on the ride yet. And it was, you know, in a cab or any kind of transportation was going to cost them a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely a place where there could be more. They luckily found a neighbor.
oh, good.
Yes. That was able to drive them. So that worked out, but it was, and sometimes I think Mystic Valley can come up with some funding too to help people.
Yeah. Wow.
Mostly the out of town stuff that, you know, people can't get to.
Oh, we're losing your sound.
Me? Can
Oh,
you hear
yeah.
me?
Yeah,
Right.
now I hear you. Oh, I don't know what
I'm a
happened.
little far away. I got the heat's on behind me.
no, your voice got very faint. All right, so I think another thing I had asked about the finding out from the town residents what they wanted, but I'm gonna ask if we can fold that into the, you know, what's coming up, the preliminary discussion of the spreadsheet you sent out with the age friendly,
Mhm.
if nobody objects to that. Anything else, Karen, that you wanna, in terms of your.
Yeah. I think the transportation actually ties into what we're going to be talking about with age friendly,
does,
with this,
yeah.
one of our main bullet points or
Trans-
main action items.
And then, you know, finding out what people need or want. Okay, so the director's report. I'm gonna move, we accept it.
I'll
Second,
second it. Oh,
Everybody second it. Pick
everybody did.
pick somebody, Flo.
Okay, Maureen, you're gonna second it.
all right.
All right, all in favor? Everybody, approves. All right, thank you. Good, good.
Okay.
Okay, so the age friendly, thank you for, this was, you know, it was so nice. I don't know if that's quite the right word, Karen, but I just, you know, to pick up the spreadsheet, the Excel that Christine and you did, and just like, there it is, you know, there it is.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's great.
4-page, which is also good, but the full report, so.
This is great.
It's a nice structure, it's a nice skeleton of what needs to happen.
Yeah, Christina put that all, I mean, we worked on it together, but she put
Yeah.
the Excel in place, and I loved it. I'm like, oh, this is so nice.
Yeah, great.
So
So
what would-
basically, I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
no, I just wanted to ask you, Karen, what do you want to happen next with any of this?
I think we could take the time today that we have just to go through and highlight. I think we figured we as a board should tackle 2 or 3 items maybe for the year and make that as our goal, because it would be impossible to tackle all of it, of course. So we as a board maybe could decide what we think the top needs would be and pick a couple to tackle either for the whole year or do 6 months at a time. And to get some of that, I was thinking, I know we talked about a survey. I
Yeah,
think that might be a useful thing to do over the summer, where I could potentially get either a property tax work-off volunteer or a student volunteer to help manage the data, because I don't have the staff to really manage data for a survey necessarily. But I would like to propose we host that the board and us host together a town hall meeting for residents 60 and over, say in May for Older Adults Month, that we can get some live input from people. If we check with the town to see if they'll let us, of course, host a town hall, but we could host it right here, invite people in.
I
share
saw
some
that
of what
Stoneham
we're
is
doing.
doing that. Yeah, I thought that was a great thing that Stoneham was doing it, so I'm glad, yeah, that you're want to do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But then we could go through, we could just go through if you want, through the sheet here, the main areas of focus. We can see if we want to do something now, or if we want to pick one of them to focus on tonight, but definitely narrow ourselves down. I think for me, I know one of the biggest ones is transportation. So the increased hours for a driver will come in handy. And I want
Yeah.
to start working on when our flex is really, it's one of the older vehicles in the fleet. So as we start to look at the process of updating it to more fuel efficient, increasing to a 14-passenger van again, so that we have more capacity.
Oh,
That are-
sure. So it's just it's one van and then the car, right? The flex, whatever
Yeah,
that
and
is, wagon.
Yeah, and that only has 8 seats now. So for example, for bingo, we actually, one woman canceled. Otherwise, we were going to have to use the flex to go and pick up 2 rounds of people for bingo, because we have the buses full every week. But we could start. I feel like my ADD, I go all over the place. So if we start at the top and go housing,
Yeah,
and the recommendation had been developing aging in place informational programming. I do think that's ongoing. We try to offer that between us, the library, the chamber. So that's all over the COA initiatives. I think that's
Yeah.
programming we can continue to offer, and maybe look at evening offerings for people who are.
Yeah, I
still-
think that's big. I think evening is big. For other things too. Eventually, as a target, not on a regular basis necessarily, but it's a building, anyway, yes.
So did anybody have anything housing specific wise they wanted to discuss tonight from the sheet? Or do we want to go through the whole thing just as an overview tonight? And then think about ideas that we want to really target as a group, and next month we can vote on, hey, let's target these items and get going on them.
Yeah, I'd rather have a general overview. Broader.
Okay.
tonight.
I think that
Yeah,
makes sense.
there's a lot to pick from, but this is great. This is a great
Yeah.
document.
mm-hmm.
And I
So
think a lot of this stuff you are already doing, Karen, for sure,
Yeah.
Right.
100%. The town and now, have you had any luck with like the small home repair program? That's a big thing for people, I think.
I think it might be a good one for us to think about tackling, to have a database of people who,
Right.
that people could call for something like that.
Yeah,
Right, and they're not gonna charge them an arm and a leg or.
Yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, how do you, I don't know, how can we or a board manage the charging of it? I mean,
Right.
Probably
That's what-
can't.
We can't.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm concerned with. Yeah, there's so much to it, the insurance aspect,
right, like.
I
you
just
might
wrote
know
that word,
someone-
insurance.
Yeah, I mean, you might know someone who's handy, but are they gonna like fix this electrical outlet to code? Probably not. But
Well,
Yeah.
you need some licensed people, some regular handymen, people that are,
yeah,
running a business. And that are, I don't know, do any other COAs do stuff like that, or?
I think
mean,
everybody
they-
finds the same problem. I can ask around to more, but I believe, I know for Melrose, they didn't, it was the same struggle. I don't know if we could work with the library to see if the library has like an Angie's List membership that, I don't think it's called Angie's List anymore, but one of those type of memberships that people could use without having to pay their own membership. I'm not sure how that works.
like even the item has, I don't know, I don't read those ads, but I know there are a couple of people listed there that they call themselves handymen. I mean, it may be worth, I guess, just checking with those people to see what they're all about. I mean, I can't remember. One of the ads I remember reading said, he does odd jobs and minor home repairs, but I don't know what that means.
There's on the Wakefield community page on Facebook, there's a lot of chatter about somebody's, I'm looking for somebody to do this, I'm looking for somebody to do that. And, people pipe up with, well, call this person or call that person. And none of that is vetted, none of it.
No, I know.
I could start keeping track of some of those names so that, when and if we do get to a point where we want to vet or try to, like for plumbing and just fixing concrete or fixing plaster or putting in hanging a curtain rod, putting up a curtain rod.
Yeah, it's that stuff, hanging
Yeah.
pictures on the wall, those kinds of
Right,
things,
right.
Yeah.
I know
Um,
in Lexington, they had a little fix-it group of people that would get together once a week. And people
Oh.
would bring in stuff to get fixed.
Into the
Oh,
senior center?
Yeah, I think it was in the senior center. I'm not sure where they met, but they did it for free. It was people
Hmm.
who were handy and
I think
so,
Stoneham did that for a while too, now that you say that.
yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
so you're not throwing away as much stuff. So if you had like a curtain rod that was broken and just needed a simple fix, you could bring it to this group and they would fix it.
Hmm.
Or a toaster or something like that.
Yeah, that's what small stuff.
And they were volunteers, retired.
Oh, they were
people.
volunteers, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
I'll ask around to some of the other centers to see if anybody has something like that we could
Okay.
try and copy, or try and potentially work with the chamber too. Like, what does the chamber keep for
Yeah.
info on?
And then like the fellow that does that woodworking class, I mean, he obviously worked with his hands. So I wonder if he knows of anyone or if he does stuff around. I mean, I know a few people around town who are handy, but like I said, they wouldn't be vetted.
Yeah, that's, and if they're going into people's homes, it's one thing they're coming to the center to fix your toaster, which would be
Right.
great, something like that, but then if they're going into your home,
Right.
there's that additional liability for the COA and the town. But still worth doing, because it's a need that's only gonna grow, I would think.
Right.
Um,
Within that, it talks about the snow shoveling's mentioned here, and that's up and running.
That's
Um,
great. Excellent.
So
Oh,
we're
we need the
about
snow.
30
Oh,
Yeah, really.
needs some snow now. But in the interest of time, if we want, we can move on to
yeah,
transportation,
go ahead, yeah.
Mhm. Okay, yeah.
which I think we talked about. I'm trying to increase the hours and then increase the capacity through hopefully obtaining a new van. I don't think that'll be for another year or two based on even inventory, but we are starting that process.
Right.
And then we talked about work on improving travel on public roads and walkways. So I see that as like, I think I talked about this before. It'd be nice if we could have a way that you can report to DPW. I was out walking and I noticed this sidewalk has, a new tree root that's coming up, or I just don't know how DPW will rack and stack what they think is the most important, but certainly if we saw something we think is an extreme hazard, that we could share that.
You
Right.
have here too, on number 2, you have Wakefield's Open Space Committee and the rec plan. But, and later on, you mentioned the master plan, I think, or, that the master plan is supposed to be capturing, it's like the big umbrella for this too. So I think, you know, it's at a minimum, maybe we can create some, not accountability exactly, but some monitoring of what they're doing to make sure, not make sure, but to, you know, encourage and support and be informed about what the town is doing on some of these, with some of these goals.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I don't think it's in the, yeah, it's takes the whole village, right, to make
It
it safe.
does, you know, and you don't want all these silos of people thinking and working on things and then nothing happens with, you know, it's hard not to have
So
silos.
should perhaps, I mean, I know Susan, you're involved in
Well,
some
I
of
was,
that.
I'm not on the master plan though, right now, so.
So should we, I mean, should there be someone from the COA who like, you know, commits to attending those meetings or being a part of that? I guess, is it the open space committee or the you know,
Well, we,
because
last month when you weren't, was last month, right, Karen, when you asked us about, was that last month?
So I'm part of the new open space, like the plan for the next
oh,
10
okay, great.
but not, that's different than the master plan, although they work side by side with a lot of things. That's just one focus within it. But they did include me for that, so that's good.
Oh, good. Oh, all right.
I will, between now and the next meeting, I'll check in and see what the master plan, I know they had a meeting in December. An open meeting, you know, in-person meeting for the first time in a long time. So I'll check and see where they are with whatever they're doing, just to, and report back what I can find out.
Okay. So then next we
know
went,
how-
oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just wondering about the electronic crosswalk. I love those when I see those.
Yeah, those are
I
great.
would like to see more of those. Is that something that like we would have to approach the DPW, see if they put it in their budget, or how would that?
Yeah, let me ask about that.
And I wonder how they determine where they go, you know,
Where
because
they're-
they're not, obviously they're not everywhere, but you know, like
Like
North
tonight,
Avenue,
It's so dark.
yeah. And North Avenue where you know, when the train that comes in, it's people take their lives in their hands crossing the street.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go on to the next one. We're gonna run out of time.
Okay, then I'll check into that. So social participation,
outdoor space.
I think
Oh,
this is
outdoor-
ongoing. We're constantly looking for new programming to do, to bring people in, see what's successful, what's not. We come through what other people are doing in the local area, in the other COAs, to just try and get ideas.
One of the things I'm really interested in, Karen, and I'll just throw it out there now to jot down, are some generations over dinner. I'm doing some intergenerational dinners. They don't have to be fancy dinners, but gatherings with different generations to come together and talk about things. And that's very basic, but that is happening across the country. And it, you know, ties in with a lot of different things, but I'm gonna mention it here, social, because it also.
Yeah.
You know, and if it was evening or a thing, people could come with their grandchildren, their children and the mother, and, you know, anyway, but it has a structure to it. It's not just coming for a meal. It has a structure to it.
Mhm.
Generations Over Dinner is the name often given to it.
I see.
It's, you know, that writing that when the writing class did, when the kids came in to interview the seniors a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Mm,
Well, it's not exactly like that, but it's a two-way or it's a three-way. It's everybody, you know.
yeah,
It's not just finding out about the seniors, it's the seniors finding out about the young kids and the
young
middle.
people.
Yeah, so just to kind of,
What about like something in collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club? I mean, I don't, I'm sure there's all sorts of legality and all of that,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
but intergenerational programming, I know it's not a new idea for this.
No, but
But maybe some new forms of it.
Okay. Okay, and then the next we moved on to civic participation and employment. I thought the town hall I talked about might fall into there to some degree, that it's bringing people together in the town to talk about some of our wants, needs, concerns in the 16 over population.
There is a Mass Hire Career Centers, Mass Hire, there's one in Woburn, which covers our area. Let's just jot that down, because there should be a link and awareness brought to the people of Wakefield if they don't know about the Mass Hire Centers, which are free, and it's not, a lot of people think it's just the unemployment office, but it's not. It's for, they're recruiting all the time for apprenticeships and different positions and helping people write resumes, all that sort of stuff, and it's free.
Yeah. I would like to increase our volunteers here. We took some tax work off volunteers in the senior center and it really worked out well. So I want to try and bring in a few more even next year so that we have the capacity to do so. We just didn't have the jobs. Yes. Right. So our nurses, our 2 nurses have been doing blood pressures since September and they're tax work off volunteers. So it's saved the health department a lot of work because we have 2 nurse volunteers. So yeah. So in that kind of way, I think we need to, it's an untapped resource we need to expand upon to even do reception kind of things, answer phones.
Yeah, I'll come in and do that.
Yay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
I
That's
noticed
great.
that in other towns, they have a lot of volunteers, a lot of volunteers.
Some of them are also senior community service employment people.
Mhm.
And I can get you more information about that, Karen. That may or may not be an option. And those people are paid, not by us, not by Wakefield, but they're paid minimum wage through it's a back to work program for people 55 and older.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. That might be a great way to bring in, say, a receptionist to come and help.
Yeah,
during the busy
exactly,
season.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I like that. And then we went on to communication and information. I think that's we're talking about, creating an age-friendly Wakefield website, how to make sure that it's easy to access information. We're talking about doing a program here for travel in the modern age where teaching people how do you use Uber, how do you use Lyft, how do you check into your flight on the computer, how do you safely book a hotel room. So we're working on trying to find a travel agent to come in and talk about some of that, and then internally some of us
Excellent.
presenting that.
There might be somebody, I know it's Melrose, but there might be somebody at SDM down in Melrose that could come in and talk about that. Because they're all about a lot of their, about the user, the consumer user. Maybe they might have some.
What's SDM?
It's on Main Street in Melrose. I don't know what it stands for, SDM, but it's a free, wonderful resource in the community for anybody who needs assistance or who wants to learn computer applications of all different sorts, social media applications. I've been there to learn, they do classes, or you can make a one-on-one appointment. I had to convert some disks to files for my computer, and they helped me with that. But if you want using your smartphone for the kinds of things that Karen's talking about right now.
Yeah.
I know they have people that are expert in that could maybe would be interested in doing a program. They're on Main Street. I know the Melrose COA has done a bit with them too, Karen. SDM.
Yeah, it's actually, I'm glad you say that. I should think about, and I want to offend the library, so I need to talk to them first, but advertising some of the services SDM provides and make sure it's not taking away from what BB does, but getting information out.
That's true. Yeah, BB has some help too.
And then we went on to community support and health services, improve communication and community supports. I think there's just a great area and room to grow, especially as our health department continues to grow, to bring in more offerings with partner organizations like Melrose, Wakefield, and Tufts, and bring in some of their programming for people. And we have the blood pressure clinic now back again. See how else we can utilize the local health areas that we have to bring some education to people.
What are some of the politics of like a joint program or participating in a program run by the YMCA? Like they do nutritional programs, they do healthy habits, a program called Healthy Habits. which is free. They have a grant for it. You know, I know they wouldn't do it just for the town of Wakefield, but even just cross-pollinating programs, is that something? I don't know what the rules are about that.
You mean with other towns or with other?
Well, this is the YMCA. This is the Reading, you know, Burbank. Burbank YMCA in Reading, but Reading Wakefield, you know, it used to be Wakefield, so it's the same. And they do these 10-week healthy habits classes run by a personal, they're virtual, run by a personal trainer and a nutritionist. And they're an hour, well, an hour and 15 minutes. Even if they were, I've taken it a couple times, actually, people can repeat it. And it's just it's a great program for people who are trying to up their, you know, up their knowledge, up their health. And it's free, as I said, but you know, even just to advertise it in the bulletin.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are about that, if that's.
Is that free if you're a member of the
Well,
Y?
you don't have to be a member. You're a member for the period that you're in the program, in that
Oh.
particular one.
Yeah,
You know, it's free to you. And then if you wanted to use the pool and stuff, you have to join, but
right.
you don't have to be a member to take the class or take the, do the program.
I think the elder services are
Mhm.
also doing more of those healthy living programs.
Healthy living.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. And then the last area, respect and socialize inclusion, respect and social inclusion. Value the knowledge and expertise of each and work on including both older and younger members of the community to participate. So some of the intergenerational stuff you were talking about, Susan, I think is good with that. Like a lot of them can have the same, you know, the same activity can meet a few.
Meet a few goals.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to, you know, I mean, I'm not just putting these out there for somebody else to do. I'd be willing to sort of dig a ditch and get involved in trying to coordinate something.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely as well, you know, particularly, you know, I mean, not to backtrack, but, you know, I mean, how do elders in Wakefield find out about like the services offered by Mystic Valley? It shouldn't be just calling the COA and getting that info. I mean, I wonder if they could do a little piece for the newsletter so people would know what is available. You know, like people don't know that, you know, if they meet certain, you know, income things, they could get a free homemaker or things like that. I mean, could open a can of worms, but I mean, that's what the ASAP's there for. And the healthy living, I thought of it because of the programs that they do around healthy living and, you know, the diabetes education and all of that. I mean,
there's even volunteer, you know, I'm a volunteer with Mystic Valley for a social engagement program. I have a woman in Wakefield that I, you know, visit and hang out with. And that's through Mystic Valley. So somebody was asking, you were talking before about volunteer opportunities for seniors. And, you know, that's a volunteer opportunity through Mystic Valley, but also if somebody needs somebody to, you know, check in on them, or it's not a caregiver, it's just a friendly visitor type person, or a friendly phone call. It doesn't even have to be a visit, it could be a phone call.
Right. So it all doesn't have to be, you know, Beth Greenberg and Karen Burke and her team doing this kind of stuff. I mean, Karen, do you feel like you get enough information for seniors in Wakefield from Mystic Valley, or do we need them to come and, you know, be part of this town hall perhaps and educate people about what is out there? I mean, that was some of the work I used to do, and people didn't know that stuff was there until everything hit the fan.
Right,
you know?
right.
I would love to do, either we do it together or we do two separate events, but I would love to do a senior resource fair in Wakefield that we bring in Mystic Valley. We have the assessors there to talk about the circuit breaker. We bring in all the key agencies to one spot, and we have it for a few hours so people can come. At Melrose, our It's actually very well attended, and it's almost one-stop shopping. The veterans are there, the assessors are there, Mystic Valley's there. They have just anybody you could think of that might be able to
Yeah.
help there, so
Yeah.
people can get information.
Yeah.
The town, and that was open mostly to, I think they opened it to 60 and over. You could decide the age
Mhm.
range. But the town hall, I would want to keep to anybody, because, you know, if somebody has an idea for my aging parents or something like
Right,
that.
right.
Maybe 2 separate events.
Yeah.
But I would love to do a senior resource fair. I don't know what the
That
best
would
time to
be-
do it is, in the fall or the summer.
Yeah, probably
Probably
Not
not
now.
the
when the
summer.
weather,
I don't think.
when
the
there's
summer-
no weather, you know,
Yeah.
spring or fall, probably.
Summer, fall, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I hate to interrupt, and this is a good discussion too, but it's 7:15, so I have to go now. Just wanted
Was
to-
there anything in particular you wanted to shine a light on, Joanne, about the age-friendly planning?
No, all of this that we're talking about is really good, I think. So, you know, seems like it's all important. I think it's gonna be hard to narrow it down.
Yeah, well, that's what, Karen, just keep bringing us back to choose 2 or 3 or 4, 2 or 3 priorities for this year, because we can't do everything.
I
So,
know, but it
Well,
sounds
we'll
like
need to close the meeting too, because without Joanne, we won't have a quorum.
okay, all
Right.
right. Well, this was a good beginning, I think, for,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
Mystic Valley is very good at promoting themselves too. They're always in the newspaper, and I think they would probably do anything.
Yeah.
We asked them to do. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would. I mean, it's a wealth of information and resources. But the question is, do people in town know to call, or,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Beth Greenberg or you, Karen, and your crew tell people all the time, but
yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I think maybe we could, next meeting, put some more plan in place, like, okay, if we want to do a town hall in May for Older Adults Month, and then set a plan of I think the senior resource fair, to do justice, I think it would be better for late summer or fall, because it will
Yeah.
take some time to really put
Take some
together.
time to put that together.
And we may get some
Yeah.
ideas from the town hall too that we want to add, but I think if we put
Mhm.
those as 2 big things that we want to set dates to, it's good. And for intergenerational, we do want to do, I didn't mention, but we want to save the date. We want to do an art show in April that we would do in the evening with we do it like from 4 to 6 time frame for the wood carver, to show up the wood carvers and our artists who come in. And we thought that's
excellent. Oh, that's great.
Would that include any
They're all
youth?
at once.
Would that, when you say, would that include any youth? Like, are you talking about youth art too, or the wood carver?
I think we were primarily talking about our senior art, to see,
Yeah,
not to
yeah,
exclude the
okay,
youth, but to
yep.
have them have a showcase too. I think the schools probably do a pretty good job of in doing that. So this would be showing people, like, this isn't, people don't just come here and knit. This is the things that
Right,
have
yeah.
No, I
They're very
know.
talented
Yeah.
older adults who come in to do some amazing things.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm,
great,
mhm.
great.
So maybe next month we can really start to target some things that we want to do. And I know some of them you can't, right? You can't point and say, we're just going to do this, but I think senior resource fair is a way to tackle some of these things for information.
Yeah, I
Town hall.
agree.
Some
I
programming.
agree.
Okay,
And if you need someone to like call the DPW and pose those questions about the crosswalks and all that jazz, I mean, feel free to farm that out to, I don't know, people like me. I don't want to offer anybody else because other people have full-time jobs, but I mean, I like Susan, like what you said, we don't want to just say, oh, do this, do that.
do this, I know, right. Well, I'm gonna
It's great ideas.
I'm gonna dig a little more into the master plan where that is, and also I'm gonna, on the employment stuff, I'm gonna send, anyway, I've, some of the things I said about
Got it.
mass hire and the CSEP program, maybe a senior to come in and do reception, and some generations over dinner, which seems to me doable. I mean, it could be pizza, doesn't have to be a fancy thing. And I'm sure.
Yeah, and I want to do a vets in the classroom kind of thing, where we bring veterans and students here to share a meal and share their stories around either Veterans Day next year or Labor Day.
Oh, that's
should.
great. Yep.
Intergenerational.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
noticed under Marianne, when the newsletter came out the other day and she sent it, and under her signature was, I forget exactly, but it said the veterans, it said senior center veterans, something or other. It's a new sort of branding, if you will, of, I like that.
Yeah, so she's part-time. She has, some of her hours are actually paid by the veterans.
Okay, okay,
She's
yeah.
Dave's assistant.
So, okay, so the center itself hasn't changed its name. It's because Marianne works part-time for the veterans. Is that why it's read that way?
Yeah, she must have changed her signature block, but
I
she's,
like
she's
that.
been,
I mean, I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
I think it's a nice way for people to remember that the veterans are here too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It brings in a whole new group of people, which is actually really nice because then they see, oh, look what you're doing here, and or they share, and it's a good way to good advertising for us, those veterans.
bring some more men around too. Not that all veterans are men, Karen. I know they're not, but you know, we'll bring some more men around the center.
Well,
too.
now it appears we need to have more Tai Chi because our Tai Chi class is already full with a wait list of 20 plus people, and there are men list. We're like, we need more Tai Chi. Let's bring in
Yeah.
the men.
Wow. Huh.
Great. It's great.
But yeah, I love the idea. We talked about this at the last one too, but you know, like around the lake, like the lack of lights, or can we bring in more benches? And that might be something we could target too, of can we have different organizations sponsor a bench that could be placed around the lake so that if somebody's walking and they need to sit down, they don't have to sit on the curb.
Yeah,
Because there's
right.
not a lot of seating once you get over. So yeah, I think things like that we could talk about, and maybe those would be actionable items for us to tackle.
And very visible in the community. If we put if they had plaques on them of some sort, you know, they'd be very visible too. Donated by blah, 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 on behalf of blah, 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 something like
Yeah,
that.
that and lighting.
And lighting. Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty dark around the
Yeah,
lake.
it is.
Okay, I don't know, how do we adjourn then, Maureen? How do we adjourn without a quorum?
I don't know.
Don't put in
We'll just make pretend. I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
We'll have Joanne will second it. How about that?
well, no, because this is recorded, Flo, you know.
Right, yeah, no, we can just do it.
Got it.
I
And who
think
seconded it? Susan, you
I'll
did?
second it, yeah, sure.
Susan can, yeah.
Got it.
But
Thank you. I'm
everyone.
sorry that I was late with my computer woes here.
Yeah, you know, it happens. Can't control everything.
Technology.
Yeah. All right.
Right,
Thanks,
great.
everybody.
Okay, all right, have a good
See
day.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.